Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. Hope everyone's having an excellent bank holiday weekend. I've been to the cinema twice this weekend, seen some good stuff. But I'll definitely talk about that on the stream tomorrow night, Bank Holiday Monday, which I might as well mention at the start now as I brought it up. Monday night stream as usual. I'm going to do it a bit earlier tomorrow just so it gives us longer to chat. So it's going to start at 7 o'clock tomorrow, so just half an hour earlier, but an extra half an hour is good enough for me. Guest wise tomorrow, we got quite a strong lineup tomorrow. Obviously it'll be myself, Sam as usual, Roy's back this week, we got Ellery coming back this week as well, potentially Jodie, not confirmed yet. I need to count because I'll forget otherwise. So me, Sam, Roy, Ellery, maybe Jodie, Tim's joining as well, and AP as well. I think his channel is AP Movie Cheer Podcast. Could be wrong, sorry if I am. Yeah, so first time on the stream for him, and possibility of another guest as well. So quite a stacked stream tomorrow. Let me move my chair a bit. So yeah, like I said, if you want to drop by, join us at 7. Got a little bit of an interesting thing I'm hoping to do. I'm going to have to ask everybody before the stream though. Something a bit different. The stream will go as normal. Obviously we'll have our recent watches as we usually do. We'll also be doing the movie news roundup, which has gone down well so far. The last few weeks I've been doing it. A few other little topics to talk about, and there's this new topic to talk about, which it'd be good if there's not many comments and questions coming in, because it gives us a chance to go through and talk about this specific thing, get us talking about more films, which is always good. But anyway, enough waffling on about that. Got quite a few to go through this week, some good ones. To be honest, mainly good ones. There wasn't very many I would say I was disappointed with. It's not a really strong week of watches. There were some highlights which I'll obviously mention, and there were some just average watches, but nothing I hated, nothing that's going out of the collection, which is always good. But first off, we have Agatha Christie's The Mirror Cracked. I'm a sucker for these Agatha Christie adaptations. I've still got the, is it 1971, I think it's Albert Finney, Murder on the Orient Express to watch up there somewhere, which I'm sure I'll like. This one's obviously 1980, stars Angela Lansbury as Miss Marple, and she's bloody brilliant in this one. Kind of a precursor to Murder, She Wrote, I guess, that similar sort of character, like a aging sleuth. You've got a brilliant cast in this one. You've got Tony Curtis, Rock Hudson, Elizabeth Taylor, Kim Novak, Geraldine Chaplin, Edward Fox. Just a really great cast, who's who. Set in the 50s, so I read up they wanted to have like a cast of people, of actors that were big in the 50s. And it's set in this small English town, very quiet, and a film crew's come to town to film a big film, lots of Hollywood actors, and there's a mysterious death that occurs, and obviously Miss Marple is trying to get to the bottom of it and find out what happens. If you like your murder mysteries, whodunits, I highly recommend this one. It was a lot of fun, great watch. Angela Lansbury's just brilliant. I'll watch anything with her in. I just think she's absolutely excellent, and to me it was a shame that she didn't do a lot of film roles, especially film roles like this, later on in her career. I mean, after this, she didn't do very many films at all. I mean, through the 80s, 90s and early noughties, she was basically just doing Murder, She Wrote. And then she'd pop up every now and then in like a role. She was in Nanny McPhee, which she was really good in. She popped up in Mr. Popper's Penguins, the last Mary Poppins film, and her last screen credit was Glass Onion, which she had a cameo in. So was always good to see her pop up on screen, because like I said, she's a wonderful actress. and always enjoy watching things with her in. And this is on the Vintage Classics label. Like I said, it's a really good, really easy Sunday afternoon watch. So yeah, recommend that if you're interested in those sorts of films. And then last Sunday evening, one of my BFI pickups, one that people have been telling me to watch for ages, I put on Gregorys Girl, Bill Forsyth film. John Gordon Sinclair playing Gregory, a young boy who has just started to take a notice in girls, especially specifically this one girl who just happens to be really good at football, and better than all of the boys on the football team. He's getting help from his younger sister on how to talk to her, and it's a coming of age Scottish film in, again, 1980, early 80s. And yeah, it's just a really nice, easy, pleasant, light-hearted watch, that probably go into circulation for me now, one that I'll watch every now and then, because yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, really pleasant, easy to watch film. So yeah, that is Gregorys Girl. And then I didn't watch anything until my birthday last Wednesday, because Monday obviously we had the stream, and I went to see Thunderbolts as well, didn't I? And then Tuesday I was out for a meal, so by the time I got back I didn't have time to watch a film. So then Wednesday went to the cinema in the morning, and then I came back and I put on Better Man before the other stream. Was a rewatch for me. Saw this at the cinema back in early January. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was one of the best films that came out last year. I think it was ended up being my number 2 or 3 maybe from last year. And I'm not a huge Robbie Williams fan, and when they announced this and said that he was going to be like portraying himself as a CGI monkey, I thought, how the hell are they going to pull this off? But somehow they really did, and it really works. Just a really well made film, really interesting story, and the way they use his songs throughout this is just spot on and just hits you more like emotionally. So I would say if you're not a fan of Robbie Williams, like I wasn't really myself, but you like a good music biopic, a good story. It's quite dark, I will tell you that. Reminded me of Trainspotting in some places, some of the sequences. Brilliant watch. Highly recommend checking this out if you've not seen it already. I'm glad to finally have it on physical media. That is Better Man. Next up, Thursday, obviously I won't talk about these too much because I did mention them in my watch pile. First up we have The Shaggy Dog, which was the 2006 Disney remake starring Tim Allen as Deputy DA Dave Douglas, our lead character. He is representing this big corporation that's basically doing these experiments on all these animals, especially this dog that they've just found that they reckon is 300 years old. This is led by Robert Downey Jr.'s character, who's it's always good to see Robert Downey Jr. He's like an evil genius in this film. It's your typical Disney film from the noughties. It's an easy watch. It's nothing particularly special or mind-blowing. But I like Tim Allen. I think he's a decent actor, especially in comedy films, family comedy films like this, I would say. And yeah, it's an easy hour and a half watch that, yeah, definitely keep in the collection, and we'll definitely be watching it again in the future. And then I followed that up with Pete's recommendation of Grandma's Boy, which I know is also one of Andy's favourite comedies over at Forgotten World of Movies. Really funny film, really easy to watch, stoner comedy. One of those films that you watch and like, how did they get away with this? Although it is obviously like 20 years ago, so they obviously got away with a lot more things back then than they do now. But yeah, it's basically about this like almost middle-aged guy who's basically kicked out of his apartment and is forced to live with his grandmother, who's a bit smothering, and her 2 housemates, played by, obviously his grandmother's played by Doris Roberts, and her 2 housemates is played by Shirley Jones and Shirley Knight. And he basically falls for his new co-worker, who also is technically his boss, played by the beautiful Linda Cardellini. And like I said, it is basically just a stoner comedy. It's about the things that go wrong, him trying to keep it, the fact that he's living with his grandmother a secret from his work colleagues. You've got Joel David Moore, who you'll probably know best from the Avatar films. He's in this. He steals the film for me. He plays this weird character dresses up like he's Neo from the Matrix, and just some talks like he's a robot, and yeah, really odd character, but he pulls it off really well and is very funny. Yeah, your typical Adam Sandler produced comedy. It's not anything special, but it's quite funny. I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's Grandma's Boy. Next up, I stuck on Roy's recommendation of the week, which was 300. I'll get the positives out of the way for this one first. I did enjoy the story. I love these sorts of sword and sandals type films. And this was a really interesting story. And yeah, just a bit in history that I wasn't too familiar with. Gerard Butler's excellent in this film, and it was great to see Michael Fassbender in his first feature film. Those are unfortunately the only great positives I can give. I just didn't like the style of this film, the way it was shot, the colour grading, the constant slow motion got on my nerves. But like I said, the story itself really found interesting. If it wasn't for just the way that the film was shot, that's what put me off a bit. And I know Stuart said the same. I don't hate the film. It's, as I said, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm willing to give it a go again. It was just one. I'm not a fan of when Zack Snyder shoots his films like this. It just looks off. And I know some people really love this film. And maybe one day I'll be one of those people. But for now, I just thought it was alright. Like I said, I found the story more interesting than what the whole film itself in its entirety. But it is one that I'd be willing to give a go again. I believe there's like a film from the 50s called The 300 Spartans. Wouldn't mind checking that out. I think it's available on Blu-ray. But yeah, that is 300. And then one of my highlights of the week, up with The Mirror Cracked and Better Man, I would say. Late to the party on this one, but it's Tropic Thunder. Obviously starring Ben Stiller, Jack Black, and scene-stealing Robert Downey Jr., who is definitely the highlight of this film. Up there with Tom Cruise in this film as Les Grossman, who's just a crazy character. It's basically about Hollywood production filming in Vietnam. They're basically filming a war film called Tropic Thunder. The director of the film, played by Steve Coogan's having problems controlling them and getting them to follow his direction. So he decides he's gonna basically drop them in the middle of the jungle and make them in the hopes that they will just get with it and start doing what he wants them to do. And it obviously goes wrong. They get caught up in a big guerrilla fight with a local drug cartel, I suppose it is, gang. And it's just very funny. Nick Nolte's in this and he's hilarious. You've got Jay Baruchel, Danny McBride, Brandon T. Jackson, Bill Hader, Matthew McConaughey's got a small role in this. It's just a really funny late noughties comedy. I like Ben Stiller in most of the things he's done. Jack Black's always pretty reliable and funny. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. If you like a good war film, but comedy, it's more of like a spoof film, I suppose, then yeah, definitely recommend Tropic Thunder. Next up was Stuart's recommendation for the week, and it was Best in Show, which is a Christopher Guest film about a dog show, basically. Didn't love this film for some reason. It was alright. I didn't hate it. Just wasn't really paying too much attention to it. Didn't really grab me like Waiting for Guffman did. I really liked Waiting for Guffman, found that really funny. And a lot of people say this is his best, but I didn't, like I said, it just didn't click with this one as much as I had thought I would. It was good. There were certainly some funny characters in here. It'd be great seeing some of these actors like Jennifer Coolidge. It's always good to see Eugene Levy, obviously both of which were in American Pie the year before. Yeah, it was good. I'm interested. I've got Mighty Wind, so I'm interested to check that out at some point. And then there's, obviously, this is Spinal Tap, and the other one is For Your Consideration, and I think Mascots, which is a Netflix exclusive film. But yeah, Best in Show was alright. There were some funny moments in it, and it wasn't one that I disliked, but I'm willing to give it a go again in the future, but wanted to enjoy it more than I did ultimately. That is Best in Show. And then my final highlight and final watch of the week goes to Mississippi Burning, which I absolutely loved. I don't know if loved is the right word. I found this so interesting, such a great story. Gene Hackman is absolutely brilliant in this, as is, who else was in this that I thought I took a liking to? I'm trying to remember who it was. Got Frances McDormand in this, and she was really good in this as well. It doesn't actually have the rest of the cast on here, but yeah, really good, but quite hard watch. It's basically follows these two FBI agents played by Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe being in charge. They're sent to this small town in Mississippi to look for these three missing civil rights activists who have gone missing whilst going down for some sort of campaign, I guess. So they're down there trying to find out where they've gone, what's happened to them, and you can instantly tell that the law enforcement and most of the people in this town don't want them there, don't want them to investigate this, think that it's nothing that they've just run off because they've done something wrong. Obviously, as you can imagine, set in the 60s, racism and segregation was still pretty prevalent, so it looks into all of that as well, and it's basically about these two having different ways of thinking, different ways of doing things, clashing with each other at times to try and hunt for the truth, find out what's happened to these boys, and get the people that are responsible for the crime. Really good film. As I said, performances in this were excellent. Love to get this on Blu-ray now. Yeah, just highly recommend giving this film a watch if you've not seen it. Just really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, that was my final watch of the week and my final highlight, Mississippi Burning. So that was everything I watched this week. Let me know your thoughts on any of these ones that I've watched down below in the comments section. Don't forget, live stream tomorrow night at 7 PM. I've already mentioned all the guests that should be joining us. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, turn your notification bell on if you want to see more videos like this, and comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time everyone, take care, goodbye.